Hi crafters, this is Crafty Sabby, and I'm back today to share a little project that I have been working on. And so this is nothing really new. I just did some coffee staining of some papers and things, and I did some envelopes and decided I would decorate a few of them and sort of show you my process. I've done something like this in the past, and many of us have already, but so what I did was I took just different random envelopes. These are all different. They just happened to come out of the sort of box I had them in, like that. And so you can use any size envelope that you want. So what I did was I coffee stained the envelope, like I said. I did some distressing around all the edges. And then I used some old book page to sort of line the envelope. So there's the flap done there, and then there's a piece of book page behind there. And this particular one I didn't do the back of, but the other two samples I did, and I'll show you that in a second. And I just thought these were really cute to add into your journals, or maybe send some happy mail in. And then I just layered up some fabrics. This happens to be a piece of canvas here, and then the white, I don't know how well you can see that white there, but the white that's under there is like that cross-stitching fabric almost. And then this sort of beige one in the front here, I stamped with my carte postale stamp, and I did that on a fabric, like a cloth napkin, so I guess it's like a linen that I got at my thrift store way back when. So I did a little stitching around the edges, and that's it. So I thought they came out really cute. So that's that one there. I will put a, I'm not going to put a link, but I did type something out regarding my stamps that I use. I've mentioned this a couple times recently in the past, but I get lots and lots of questions about, anytime that I use a stamp, I get questions about my stamps. And I've been asked to do a video, and honestly, I have so many stamps that I use that I couldn't possibly dedicate a whole video to that. So I picked out my very favorites, and what I decided to do was I typed them all out on a sheet of paper. So maybe somewhere within this video, or maybe at the end, I'll put that piece of paper here, and then you'll be able to sort of pause on it and see. So none of my stamps are new. They're fairly old, so I gave as much information as I can about the ones that are on the list, and hopefully you'll be able to find some of them. I know some of them, some people have found some of them, so there's a possibility that you still can get them. But I know I've still seen this carte postale at Michael's still, so so there's that. So I'll do that in a little bit. But there's the first envelope. This one here is another stamp that I used on a piece of that linen, and then I just backed it on some other fabric that I had there. You can see the book page behind it. I Mod Podged them so they became a little bit shiny. There's a lining on the top, and this one has book page on the back as well. And so nothing really new, but just kind of a sweet little thing to add to your journals. This is a large size envelope. This one happens to have vintage music paper on it. That's another stamp from my collection. I also did some layering there. There's about 1, 2, 3 layers of fabric there, and a little bit of sewing or stitching there. And then this is the back of that envelope. And I like the Mod Podging it because it gives it a little bit of stiffness and a little bit of shine that I like. Well, you can use matte too, it doesn't really matter. And you can eliminate that step altogether. It's not really terribly important, but I just like the look of it. And then another quick little project that I did was stamped on a piece of canvas. And on this one, I just happened to include a little button, and I sewed it on a piece of cards. So you could do some journaling on the backs of those, and they're heavily coffee stained. And then I didn't even glue anything. I just stitched it together on my sewing machine. And if I have time, so I'm hoping just to do a quick little sort of craft with me sort of tutorial on these. And so this is just another one that I did. This was actually like a brad, and I just clipped off the ends and glued this one down. But same thing, just so you can have journaling in your journals. And I like it because it adds a little bit of texture. So those are just a couple of things that I made. So what I wanted to show you was, I mentioned that I did some stamping on some fabric napkins that I got at the at my thrift store, or even garage sales. I'm not too sure, a bunch of different places. But when I often reach for stuff like that because that's the material that I have on hand. I don't go out and buy linen and you know, buy the roll or whatever. I just use what I have. And so I want to show you what I sat down and did a couple of days ago. So I'm going to show you that these are my napkins that I purchased at, so you can see here. These are some napkins that I got at different places. And I literally take my favorite stamps and I lay out my napkin and I just start stamping. I stamp a whole bunch of them, and you can see on this one I've already, you know, cut out certain ones, and that's what I do. I kind of prepare myself ahead of time, and everything is available to me. So this is quite a beautiful stamp set, and I'll tell you which one that is in a little bit. So that's that one. I've been cutting into that one already. I have this one. This, unfortunately, is a stamp set. I have no idea what it's called. I know it came from AliExpress. I wrote it down on the piece of paper I'm going to show you. It's like circles of stitches, like someone's used their sewing machine and kind of gone around in circles. And I really like that because I have some plans to sort of layer up other fabrics and do some stitches of my own and maybe make circular elements for my journals, because I never really do that. We tend to stick to squares and rectangles and that sort of thing, but that's kind of my intention. And when I make those, I'll show you guys how they turn out. This is what the package looks like. There's no name, there's nothing, but there's different sizes, 1, 2, 3, and 4 there. And I think they're darling. I've never really used them before, but I'm gonna try now. I've had this probably for a couple of years. You could have a look and see what you find in their sort of clear stamp section. But I stamped some of those, so we'll see how that turns out. And then here's another napkin. I found some of my stamps. I'll cut them out. I'll use them for different things. I plan on making some tags, and I will show you that when I finish those. But yeah, so I just stamped out a bunch and I have them ready. So whatever I want to use, I can cut them out and start layering up, and I'm sort of prepared. So I just wanted to show you that little tip. If you have some extra fabrics at home, it's a good idea. And so we're going to really quickly put some of these things together. So I'm just going to put down a scrap piece of paper here so I don't get everything dirty. And so here I have prepared an envelope, and I coffee stained it already, and I've already inked up all the edges so you wouldn't have to watch me do that. And then let's see here. I've already cut out the papers to fit the envelope. So again, we could save some time. So just like that. I'm gonna just stress this one really quick. So I just cut them down to size to fit my envelope. So I hope you guys are all staying safe and well at home. We're doing okay. The kids are eating me out of the house. I don't know about you guys who have children, but I have, you know, a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old and my husband, and they're just, oh my gosh, they're eating everything. And I'm trying not to eat everything. So, but yeah, so there's that ready. So all I have to do is Mod Podge this down. So like I said, you don't have to use Mod Podge. You can use just regular glue. I keep my brush in a bottle of water. It kind of loosens up my Mod Podge a little bit when I'm gluing things down. Just like that. Oh, I cut this one a little too long. There. And this one I had already inked up, so we'll just put that one on also. Just like that. All right. Okay, so now that I've got that all glued and Mod Podge, I'm just going to go ahead and use my heat tool, and I'm going to heat it up really quick. I'll probably skip through and come right back and we'll finish up the back there. Okay, that's the front dry. Now I'll just quickly get the back done. Okay, I'm just going to quickly dry this and we'll be right back. Okay, so there's the back dry now. The whole thing is dry. So this time I think I'm going to use something a little bigger. So I cut out a piece of fabric here so that it, you know, kind of fits on one side of my page without taking up too much room. And then I'm going to go to my piece of fabric here. And what are we going to use? I think we'll just stick with this. So I'm just going to use my carte postale stamp here. And I'm just going to cut out one of these. And I'm not being careful, I'm just kind of haphazardly cutting. And then you can also sort of fray your edges a little bit if you'd like. Okay, so there I just frayed the edges a little bit. And the next thing I'm going to do is just apply it to that first piece of material that we've got there. So if you just give me 1 second, I'm going to go to my sewing machine now, and I'm just going to run a quick sort of stitch around the edge here, and then we'll attach it to the envelope, okay? So there's my little piece all sewn together now. I'm just going to trim off these tails. Okay, I like to use my hot glue gun. You could use your Fabri-Tac here if you'd like. But that I use my glue gun to attach this to my fabric. I just find that if the glue is really hot still when you actually press it down, you can move the glue around really well, and it gives it a really good stick. It's when you wait that the glue tends to get a little bit too hard, and I think that's where people get frustrated. But if you get it right away, you can push it and manipulate it, and that's what I like about hot glue. And I know it's stuck. So there you go. There's no bubbles or lumps. And that's pretty much it. It's a simple little project, but it, you know, adds so much to a journal. So let me just quickly show you these again. So these are those little postcards that I made with the journaling card on the back, and this is super easy. I just found a piece of canvas. You can find, like I said, a regular piece of linen. It doesn't really matter. You could stamp directly onto here, or you could even just do what I did on the other one, is cut out this piece from linen and put it right on there. That would give it a little bit more dimension. Okay, let's try that. I'll cut this one out. We won't even use that one. We'll use something else. This project went really quick too. I just kind of put on the TV, grabbed my favorite stamps, got my ink. I used VersaFine black ink, if anybody is interested in that. And I just stamped. Okay, so I'm just going to fray these edges again. Okay, so I just finished fraying the edges of that stamp piece there. And I'm going to put it on this one, but now I think it's a little too long. Well, no, I want to keep it sort of postcard size. So I'll just center it. Actually, you know what? I was going to say maybe a piece of white back there would have been better, but I don't want to build it up too much because then they sometimes get too thick for journals. So I think I'll just leave it. And then I'm going to take my card with the lines and I'm going to turn it around so that the lines are on the back of my piece. And I'm actually not even going to glue anything down. You can if you want, and if you don't sew, then you could go ahead and glue this all together. It's the same thing. And I'm actually just going to take this to my sewing machine and sew around it, okay? And then I won't cut anything or show, I'll just show you what the next step is. So literally I'm going to go to my machine and I'm going to sew through all three of these, and I'm just going to put a stitch around the edge here, okay? I'll go and do that and I'll come right back. So I sewed around the stamp there, and everything is still attached. I haven't cut anything. And all I'm going to do is trim the tails here. And then I'm just going to cut the card down. And that's it. I just cut close to the fabric there without cutting it too short. And that's all there is to it. Is there a place for my little brad? Maybe there is. So I could have poked this through before I sewed it, but the little arms on these brads are very thin. So I'm just gonna take an old pair of scissors here that are very dull and just kind of clip these off. I'm going to push down those little sharp ends. I think a button would have been cuter on here, but for right now, I'm just going to add this right to the corner. Just for some added interest. And maybe just a little distress ink. And that's it, you guys. There's a little postcard now I could use inside my journals, and that's so quick and easy to do, and it's still very flat. So that's just another idea that you can use in your journals using your stamped fabrics. So, let me know if you guys have any questions at all on that. It's fairly straightforward, and but if you have any questions, I will certainly be glad to help. And I'm just going to put this sheet up here. If you need to, you can probably pause on this. So this first one here, the carte postale, is this one here. I've shown this before. Okay. That's the one that I purchased at Michael's. And it's from Stampendous. I got that, well, I didn't get it, but it was a 2011 stamp. And there's the barcode if you're interested. Okay, the next one is Vintage Ads. It's this one that I've shown you several times now. Some people have said they still got this. And if you do, it's great because it's such a versatile, beautiful stamp set. And so that's from Recollections. I got that at Michael's as well. And there's the barcode if you're interested. And then the next few are all from Forever in Time. So these are, I purchased at the Dollar Tree, sorry. And I'll just quickly let you see what they look like. So that's what this one is called. There's a number before the title of the stamp. So the first one is called Old Fashioned. And there's the barcode. And this is what that stamp set looks like. Really, really cute. Love this. Love the bike. Flying Friends is the one that you saw with the butterflies and such. Little bee. They could be upside down because I just washed them. But that's what that one's called, Flying Friends. This one is Timepieces. Love this. This is that large pocket watch that you saw. Really beautiful. That's Timepieces. Vintage Ink is this one here. Oops. I don't know if that's backwards, but kind of hard to see. But that's what it looks like. And then one of my favorites is this one here called Tickets. I've used this one a lot. And then I showed you that circles, that sewing circles, and like I show here, it's from AliExpress. Unfortunately, I do not know the seller or the name of the set, but maybe if you looked it up under cling stamps or clear stamps, you might find it. So there you go. So that's it, you guys. I hope you guys are all doing well, keeping safe and healthy. Hopefully be back soon with another video. I'd like to make some tags now and reconnect with you guys soon, okay? So like I said, any questions, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you thought of the project, and we will talk to you real soon. Take care, you guys. Bye-bye.